I'm Martin Luther with a dream, the John Lennon of the streets. I'm MJ with the N1, I feel like Malcolm with the M1. I'm at the window when you haters, don't make me jump out the window when you haters. Locked and loaded, I feel like I'm loaded, lunch beloved. Hold up, roll with the punches, yeah, I'm gonna play the hand that I was dealt. Number one focus is to remain focused, can't worry about shit I can't change like a well. Hold up, I know what it's like to fail. Hold up, I already been through hell. Yeah, I was built for all this shit that I've been through, I'm going through and what I will. I've been broke, almost died, but I'm still up on my grind. I've been down and out of luck, ain't nowhere to go but up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and misery bots of all ages. I'm back with another video. This time we are reacting to that Omni-Man trailer. Kind of a reaction, because I've already seen the trailer. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I've already seen the trailer. I just want to, touch on it and maybe talk about some things that kind of like was on my mind. You know what I mean? What's on my mind? Like, I understand why Omni-Man is the first DLC character, but I want to talk more about that. You know what I mean? I want to talk more about that. But first, we're going to go over the trailer, break it down bit by bit. Before I do that, if you like that intro music, definitely check out the Adrian Rockstar SoundCloud in the description below. Let's get it.
You have destroyed worlds. I have erased whole timelines.
Finally, a worthy challenge. I claim this timeline for the Viltrum Empire.
You will burn for this invasion.
Just a premium edition for early access to Omni-Man. It's coming in November. So we got Quan Chi, Ermac. All right, and just to give you a heads up, like towards the end, I'll give the heads up too, where there will be like minor spoilers in this video. There will be minor spoilers in this video. Just to give y'all the heads up. Minor spoilers. I will let y'all know when the spoilers come. First, I'm going to break down the video, and then I'm going to get into like the minor spoilers, because I do find it weird. Not weird, but it is interesting that Omni-Man is actually the first DLC character. It makes sense. I think the Invincible TV show is coming out soon. The second season for Invincible is coming out soon. It makes sense that he would be the first. You also have the Boys season, I believe, it coming out soon as well too. So I mean, you can expect Homelander to be releasing somewhere around the same time as the Boys. Won't even surprise me if Homelander's the second DLC we get. And there's an interesting thing to that, which I will touch on later in the video. But first, let's go ahead and slow this video down for everybody. Let's see what it is so we can break it down bit by bit. We're gonna lower it. So Liu Kang says, so Omni-Man obviously has destroyed worlds. We've seen that in Invincible Season 1. But Liu Kang has destroyed timelines, meaning the timeline that we see may not be the first timeline that Liu Kang has created. May not be the first one. But because he didn't obviously, Liu Kang didn't destroy the original timeline, the NetherRealm timeline. He didn't destroy that. That was Chronica. Chronica was the one turning back time, and by the time Liu Kang defeated Chronica, we were already back at the beginning of time. So that wasn't Liu Kang, that was Chronica that destroyed the original NetherRealm timeline. But Liu Kang, since then, we don't know how long he's been a Titan. We don't know how many timelines he's created, but obviously he's saying he's destroyed timelines. So So they split. Now Omni-Man looks good. He's so fast that he actually flies by Liu Kang the first time. He could have just popped on Liu Kang off rip, but he literally flies by Liu Kang, goes around the world, and then punches him again. Now, Liu Kang being a Titan, he's no slouch. He eats that. He eats that punch. It's interesting. He has Shang Tsung as his partner. It's interesting. Wait. Is that Shang Tsung? No, that has to be Shujinko. Shang Tsung is not a cameo character. I'm sorry, that's Shujinko. He looks so much like Shang Tsung, though, I swear. Like old Shang Tsung. Now, this was actually pretty interesting. As we see Tremor. Tremor actually looks really dope. That's one of his original outfits too from, it wasn't MK3, which, was it MK3? Or was it, what's up, Nuketown? I forget which game he was in. He was in a game before MKX, but he wasn't like, I think he was like a secret character, if I recall. It might have been like a PSP Mortal Kombat game, actually, now that I think about it. I can't remember. But that's more reminiscent to his original look, his OG, triple OG look, with the exception of like the rock hands and stuff like that. He didn't have any of that. He looked just like Scorpion for the most part, with just an orange kind of satchel or whatever, orange color basically instead of yellow. And he looked so much like Scorpion in this video that I originally thought it was Scorpion when I first seen the video. So I was like, but then he was doing like other moves, and I was like, wait, that's not Scorpion. Like, Scorpion doesn't do those moves. So I had to like rewatch the video, which is fine. The video is only a minute long. It's pretty short. And that's when I realized, like, oh shit, that's Tremor. Okay. Because like obviously the MKX Tremor looks very different from this, and I do like the way the MKX Tremor looks too. If I'm not mistaken too, the MKX Tremor also had like an alternate costume that was more reminiscent to his original appearance, which is more reminiscent to this appearance. If I'm not mistaken, I think you had to pay for it though. Now Omni-Man looks good. If I'm not mistaken, he is voiced by J.K. Simmons, who is the person who voices him in the TV show. J.K. Simmons, very, very popular, famous actor. He looks good. He looks good. I will say that. Punches him. So Tremor launches. That is a summon, not an ambush. Gives him an easy uppercut with the rock hands, then disappears. So he can act as a launcher, which is good for people for characters that don't really have too many crazy launchers. I don't really have that issue with General Shao. General Shao can pretty much launch from any touch, basically. Then you have this, which is definitely a fatal blow. This is definitely reminiscent from the actual game itself. Let me mute that. This is not the game. This is actually reminiscent of the TV show. If I'm not mistaken, it is the last episode in the TV show. If you haven't watched Invincible, definitely watch Invincible. Great animated TV show. So definitely X-Ray or Fatal Blow. Then he's catching smoke with Scorpion on this one. I'm gonna fast forward through that a little bit. So he hit Scorpion with a gut punch. Blood instantly comes out. Omni-Man hits hard as hell. He's obviously a Superman. This is an ambush. This is actually an ambush. As you can see, Tremor comes up from the ground like on some summoning joint. That shit looks crazy. As you can see, like Omni-Man never stops swinging. Like Tremor comes up as he's throwing out attacks. So this is definitely an ambush attack, which launches. And this is actually really similar. And this is another reason why I kind of thought it was Scorpion at first, because Scorpion actually has an ambush similar to this, where Scorpion rips off his face and spits up 2 fireballs in the air to continue the juggle. This is exactly what this looks, but he's shooting up lava into the air to continue the juggle, which then Omni-Man then continues the juggle with the same 2-piece hits that just ultimately knocks down. That's not really a great B&B. Now this right here, obviously, in all his other joints, he's standing firmly on the ground. Even when you first start the fight or whatever, like, he's standing firmly on the ground or whatever. But as you can see, after he punches Scorpion, he then does this stance where he which looks like an input. That definitely looks like an input. That little motion he does, that looks like maybe a down back input that has him floating in the air. This has to be some sort of counter. Now, I'm not sure if this is a projectile counter or just a general counter in general that counters anything, but he definitely starts floating into an air after a slight little, what looks like an input movement. So you can see here, he does a little movement, and then he goes up in the air. That looks like it might actually be a forward, down, forward movement, actually. And then he's in the air. Scorpion throws out the spear. He weaves it. Weaves the joint, which lets me know that this is some sort of counter. Then he instantly goes in for a counter attack, full screen counter attack, which is pretty dope. This would make me believe this is more probably a projectile counter because it's able to be done at full screen. Now, it doesn't seem like he did any enhancements or anything. This just looks like what the counter is. He comes, he hits him from behind, then he knees him in the gut, and then quickly, looking like a blur, goes in, punches his hand into their back, and then kind of breaks their spine. This is also another callback to the TV show as well, too, as he does that to a soldier, I believe. And then you have the infamous fatality, which I believe this is also in the last episode of Invincible, where he does this train scene, which is it's really brutal. It's extremely brutal. I am interested to see how it completely looks in this game. But yeah, this right here is also another callback to Invincible. If I'm not mistaken, this is in the first episode of Invincible. So just by watching the first episode, you'll actually see this, which is pretty dope. Yeah, these are just pretty callbacks. This was really short and stuff like that. So not much to it. I want to see the rest of this because like right now you see all the other people dying. You don't see what's happening to Scorpion at all there. So it's like, I would like to see what actually happens to Scorpion. This really looks kind of brutal, as you can just see the blood starting to splatter on his face. Obviously, he explodes his face. We don't see much about that, and we don't see much about the train joint or whatever. And then they have like the Omni-Man early access. He's coming in November 2023, so he'll be out in November. That's around the same time, if I'm not mistaken, I keep saying Infamous, but Invincible 2 season 2 comes out or whatever. But anytime I said Infamous, I meant to be saying Invincible. I'm sorry, y'all. That was I don't know why I keep saying Infamous, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna get to the spoiler section of this video. So if you have not played through the story of MK1, if you do not want to be spoiled, I would recommend you click off right now. Just it's gonna be the end of the video. Like after I talk about the spoilers, the end of the video, and then I'll stream some Mortal Kombat 1. So if you have not seen the story mode, if you do not want to be spoiled at this point, definitely click off from the videos. Highly recommend you click off from the videos. I am going to start spoiling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have not played MK1. So yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you intend to play MK1, definitely log off. The video's coming to an end anyway. I'm only going to spend maybe 2-3 minutes basically giving out some sort of spoilers and my thought in regards to Omni-Man being the first DLC character. So obviously, this is where the spoilers begin, by the way. Obviously, Omni-Man, first DLC characters, that's most likely to align with Invincible Season 2. Which, from my understanding, in Invincible Season 2, he's probably not going to be playing that much of a big part, as he's off doing his own thing. But obviously, it's just going to be hyped for the character, as he was a really big part of Season 1, had some of the best moments of Season 1. And then you got Season 2 coming out, so people are going to be checking for this character, especially if they don't know the comic book story or anything like that. My thing about that is they had enough time to get him done and ready by November or whatever. But then you have these two characters. You have Ermac and Quan Chi, who are very prevalent in the MK1 story. These two characters actually play a big part, like a bigger part than what Sector and Cyrax played in MK11, even though, Sector and Cyrax have a new design and everything in MK11. They were in the story of MK11 and they played a part in MK11. but they were never playable characters or whatnot. Like Quan Chi and Ermac play a very big part in MK11. You fight them several times. You fight Quan Chi and Ermac more than once. Like in MK11 and MK1. In MK11, you only fight Sector and Cyrax. I believe you only fight them like once each or something like that. And then that's it. They never made them DLC or anything like that. You have Quan Chi and Ermac here, who are DLC characters that are in What's Good Collapse. I'm spoiling this right now, just giving you a heads up, but you have Quan Chi and Ermac, who are DLC characters who are in the story mode of MK1 and are pretty prevalent in the story of MK1. They definitely have movesets already in the story of MK1, but yet you have Omni-Man, that's the first DLC. Based on what we play in the story, I believe that Ermac and Quan Chi were actually supposed to be in the game. I believe these two characters were actually supposed to be base roster because of how big of a role and how prevalent of a role they played in the storyline, and the fact that they already have a moveset in the storyline. Like, they seem like they all are already playable characters. It's cool. Do what you do, bro. I got you. But they already seem like playable characters. They already have a moveset and everything. They're very prevalent in the MK1 story mode. But yet and still, we're getting Omni-Man as the first character. That's the thing that's like a little mind-boggling to me, is the fact that Omni-Man is the first character when it seems like Quan Chi and Ermac should have been base characters first and foremost, that they probably cut out of the game to make them DLC characters. These characters, based off of the several times you fight these characters in the story mode, because you fight Quan Chi multiple times. I want to say you fight Quan Chi at least 3 or 4 times in the story mode. You fight Ermac at least 2 or 3 times in the story mode. So you fight these characters multiple times in the story mode. It is pretty evident that they already have a pretty extensive moveset, but yet and still they made Omni-Man the first DLC characters when, based off of what you play in the story mode, you would have thought that Quan Chi and Ermac would have been like the first 2 DLC characters. I can see Takeda probably being the last DLC character, honestly speaking. Either Takeda or probably like Peacemaker. But you would assume that Ermac and Quan Chi probably would have been among the first 2 because they have a moveset. They're very prevalent in the story mode, and they just seem like they're already ready. They seem like they are already ready. So it won't actually surprise me if like Omni-Man is ready, which, I mean, it also makes sense why they would release Omni-Man is because they have the Invincible Season 2 coming out soon. Which makes me believe that these 2 characters was probably supposed to be base characters. They probably should have been in the base game. And then Omni-Man was going to be the first DLC character, which he is the first DLC character. But then that would have just left like 4 DLC characters, which is fine because I want to say MK11 only had like 4 DLC characters each season, if I recall correctly. Or was that MKX? One of them. But yeah, it's just really weird. So I mean, I won't be surprised if we see like either Quan Chi or Ermac next, because they seem like they are already ready. It won't surprise me if like maybe Homelander comes maybe 3rd or 4th, and then, you know, Peacemaker, and then maybe Takeda's probably last, honestly speaking. Or they might make Peacemaker last and then put Takeda like right before Peacemaker, because they're probably going to want to line the launch of Peacemaker with the Peacemaker Season 2 TV show, which I think this comes out in the summer or something like that. So that's basically it. That's all I wanted to kind of touch on with this. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to go on and start streaming next, so definitely check out for the stream that's coming next. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Boys in the hood with big dreams of being superstars. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't, but you gotta